Hey. Happy Tuesday. I hope your week has started off in a magical week. I couldn't help but stand out here and get excited about this beautiful weather. I don't know about you, but summer is my absolutely favorite time. And I came out here and I was like, okay, it's starting to get a little chilly. So I'm bundling up so I don't freeze. I hope you all are warm and snuggly as well. So we are going to get started. Here's the thing. This is one thing that can destroy everything. And we're going to be talking about that one negative thought that can take us out of complete alignment. And I'm going to share with you how that happens and what we can do about it. Okay. So I hope that for those that are coming to my Unlock Live event, I am so excited. So many things are falling into place so beautifully for our live event that's happening Friday and Saturday. So if you're in the Denver metro area, come and join us. We are so excited to be delivering some really fantastic, new, exciting, engaging content. We're going to be doing some activation sessions. We're going to be shifting the mindset. We're going to be doing some reprogramming. And the people that are coming in are going to be leaving in a way more powerful place than they've ever been. And we're going to actually teach people how to attract more and manifest just by simply getting in alignment. And really, really, really powerful things that we're going to be doing. So if you are joining us, I can't wait to meet you and see you and get to play. It's going to be off the charts incredible. So, all right, friends, one of the things that I was talking to my husband just recently about is that story machine in our brain. That one thought, that one experience, that one situation that can completely throw us off and feels like we have absolutely no control over it. And here's the thing, my friends, we actually have choice if we can just slow down the process. So often, and I was just having this conversation with my husband because he had a situation that happened, and it was literally one person's opinion, okay, their point of view. And whether it's true or not true doesn't matter, okay? It's irrelevant to this conversation because it's how we respond or react to it. And in this particular situation, he was really upset because, it's hard to take feedback and not try to want to fix it and try to be the problem solver of it. And I am trying to be on his team, okay? And I'm trying to come from a place of love and light and be like, well, here's what you could do. Like, have a conversation and do this and blah, 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 right? Shut down. And it's because that one thought started to take over his complete emotional system. His entire brain started to find the evidence that was true. And it's not, okay? And this as outsider, I'm like, dude, like, it's not true. Like, why are you giving this so much power? And yet he wanted to go down that route. And so as an outsider looking at it, there was really not a lot that I could do, okay? Because he was committed to the story. And that, my friends, is where that one thought, that one situation, that one perspective, that one point of view can destroy everything, right? It takes us out of alignment. It takes us into a bitter, dark, gloomy place. And when it does, we become out of alignment. And when we become out of alignment, we then start to feel it. And then our brain goes to work to find the evidence to support it. And the same is true if we chose something else, okay? And so it's hard as a spouse, a significant other, a best friend, a neighbor, whatever that might be, seeing someone take that one thought, that one point of view, and just go to town with it, okay? But here's what we can do as our own individual selves, and also, what we can do to support that individual. And here's the thing is, if we can just slow it down for ourselves and take that piece and set it out. Set it out from us and really look at it and look at it from different perspectives. Because so often I think we just take this one perspective, this means this, and we don't ever really explore it further. And so taking that perspective, throwing it out here, and then looking at it from an objective point of a state, and making sure that we're not giving it more juice, okay, by thinking about it, contemplating it. It's just like, okay, here it is. And I always like to tell people that when we're having those thoughts that are necessarily not in alignment, and we're having the hard time coming out of it, and we're in that spiral, we're in the spiral, we don't know how to get out of it, is just stopping, like literally stopping the madness, okay? And if we need to shift the energy, we need to shift the environment, we need to go take a walk, just stop the spiral. And one of the best ways that I know how to do that is just by going and changing the environment, getting outside, taking a walk. If you can do something physical, movement is the fastest way to shift anything, okay? And so doing jumping jacks, running in place, running around the block, riding a bike, it doesn't matter, yoga poses, whatever it is. It's the fastest way to start to shift the energy, okay? And then really taking a look at it from an objective place and not jumping to conclusions, not jumping to outcomes, because that's oftentimes what we do. We're just trained to do that. So I have told people before is, using this, statement, and you canceling out the thought. So really we're doing a pattern interrupt. And you can just simply do this by saying, interesting point of view that I have this interesting point of view, interesting point of view that I have this point of view, interesting point of view that I have this interesting point of view. And by saying that, it does a couple things. One, it cancels out the thought. It also brings awareness to the quality of our thoughts. And the third thing it does is that it really allows us to pattern interrupt the thought process. And so that sticky factor that we have, that we like the thought, and it's like, and we kind of get that sticky factor where we're like just perseverating over it, will help to break it up and pattern interrupt the brain. And when we do this, we then create space, okay? Space between. And the power of the space allows us to move from unconscious, okay, we're running on a program, versus bringing it to conscious thought. And when we bring it to a conscious thought, then the power lies in this, because then we have choice, okay? And when we have choice, we can then say, okay, am I going to react to this, or am I going to respond to this? And then we have a choice to make our choose. And here's the thing is, like, we can choose, and sometimes we choose from a reacting place, okay? We're all human. We all make mistakes. Been there, done that a million times, right? But it allows us to start working that muscle to start to choose something else. And we've talked about this on here before. It's like the Groundhog Day. When we make a mistake, we will always have an opportunity to correct it. We'll always have an opportunity to reassess it. We'll always have an opportunity to reevaluate, to look at a different way. And so that is the working of the muscle of choosing a different behavior, choosing a different thought, choosing something that is serving us, right? And right now, because this energy is so intense, the energy is here to bring about tons and tons of awareness for us. We have tons of opportunities. This is how you can look at it. We have tons of opportunities to practice it. We have tons of opportunities to get it wrong. We have tons of opportunities to start to play with it that makes a little bit more sense. And we have tons of opportunities to tweak it to where it feels better for us. And when we do that, we can then start to see how that one shift has a direct impact on every single thing. Jack Canfield always talks about E plus R equals O. The event plus the response equals the outcome. And so that one thought, that one situation, that one experience, we now have control over it. We now have choice over it. And that is really powerful, especially when you're feeling like everything is out of control and everything is beyond our control, right? Then we can reset and come back into it from a different perspective. So that one thing does not have to destroy everything. Okay, that one thing can set us up to make better choices. That one thing can be the opportunity, the learning, the lesson, whatever that is for us, to really help us evaluate, assess, and and make choices that are now currently in alignment with what we desire. And so when you're working with spouses or significant others and you're in that mode, he's in shutdown mode, right? So I'm giving him his space, right? I'm giving him his space because I know that he is frontal cortex is probably offline. And so I'm giving him his space so that he can then, take what I shared with him and choose a different, right? And so sometimes we just have to hold the space for someone, not to make ourselves right or wrong or to interact in a way that is going to be triggering for them or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, I'm now holding space. I am coming with good intentions. I am coming from a place of love and light. And if there's something that I can do to help support you, yay, okay. And I think sometimes when we get into that space, we just can't see out. We are clouded. We can't see out. We can't see solutions. We just feel like we're stuck. And so when we're working with folks, spouses, significant others, colleagues, whatever, if we can just hold the space for them, because we know that that's where they're coming from, and they are spiraling, okay, and they are spiraling hard, and they're spiraling fast, and anything we say or do is not going to shift it. So just create the space for it, right? Just like we would create the space for ourselves, create the space for them as well. And I remember a great friend of mine um, who passed, about a year ago, and she was just such a gift to my life because she came from a different perspective, even from mine, and she always had the most beautiful way of saying things. And I'm like, oh, so I just love it. And I remember her saying, like, sometimes, and I'm sure I'm probably not the only one, when people come to, especially my spouse comes to me, like I sometimes want to fix it for him, or it's true for my daughter too. Like when she comes to me, I'm like, I just want to fix it for you. I want to take away the pain. I want to. And she said something so profound to me one time, and it stuck with me. And I now live my life by this principle of just really holding space. And what does that really look like and mean? And in the therapy world, we always held space, but it was like, I was kind of like, I don't know, like it was just a different environment. That was the kind of the expectation. But I really, really took it to heart of just like being able to hold that space, loving that person and knowing that they're upset, they're in pain, they're frustrated, they're hurt, they're whatever it is for them. And that's real for them. And it's okay for them to feel that. And I can just be the loving space to hold the space for them, to know that when they're ready to talk, when they're ready to have a conversation, when they're ready to, fix it. No, I'm just kidding. But when they're ready, they'll come, right? And it's not our job. And this is the most important piece of what she said to me. It is not your job to fix it for them. Because when we fix it for them, we are doing a massive disservice to them. And the reason why we're doing a massive disservice for them is because we're not allowing them to be the resource for themselves. And we're not allowing them to be resourceful. We're not allowing them to figure it out. We're not allowing them to dig deep. We're not allowing them to learn the lesson. They're not allowing them to really marinate in what was created by that. And so we negate, if you will, their learning experience. And that's not fair to them, right? And so there's so much more they can go further faster if they allow themselves to have that space. And if we, as the spouse or significant other or friend or whatever, just become the space to hold that for them so that they can work through it for themselves, is the most valuable way. And how I often will say this, and this is probably pretty brash, but play along with me for a second, is when we go into that fix-it mood for them, it's almost like we're unconsciously sending the message, you're not smart enough to figure this out. Like, and not that we're saying that, like, right, but it's almost like, I got to do this for you, like, let me do this, right, versus allowing them to have the space to figure it out for themselves. So when I am the space and I am the container to hold that space for them, I am saying unconsciously, you are so brilliant, you are absolutely a stunning human being, and you have everything that you need within yourself to understand this, solve it, fix it, tweak it, twist, you know, whatever it is for them. And I think that is such a more powerful way that we can show up and be of service to other people, right? So whether it's for ourselves, whether it's for other people, that one thought, that one experience, that one situation can do a number on us. And so how do we dig out of it, and how do we, you know, allow ourselves just to shift it? And the way we can do that is literally, the first thing is to shift the energy around it, because it holds an energy, and let's shift it, the energy of it. And like, if the other day I had one of my clients like jump up, and we were just shaking out because I was like, she couldn't get out of her kind of like almost locked brain, and her brain was just like overwriting everything, and everything was like a disaster falling through. And I'm like, okay, we've got to stop. We've got to stop, and we've got to shift the energy. And what happened was we immediately shifted the vibration of it, and the frequency of her being showed up way differently. So just stopping and shifting that, and then, you know, canceling the thought out. You know, let's find a new thought, a thought that's going to serve us now. And one of the ways I do that, will ask a generative question and ask, what else is possible, right? What else is possible, so that I can shift it and get back into get closer to, one step closer to my alignment. Because when we're out of alignment, the Shirley Show will be engaged full on. And many of us right now are having multiple Shirley shows going on, because the energy is so intense, so intense, so intense. So give yourself massive grace as we're going through this time on our planet, and it's intense. Get yourself to the live event if you have not got tickets, because we're going to be unpacking some of those things and some of the tools on what you can be doing when we're in this spin cycle, if you will. Not really sure when the spin cycle is ending, but I'm just saying we're due for a reprieve, hopefully, right? If there's enough of us that start setting the intentions that we have a reprieve, right? But really, you know, taking note of like, we have this power within ourselves, and we have the capacity to shift our thoughts. We have this capacity. And so it is really choosing, you know, how are we going to show up? How are we choosing to, you know, attention goes where attention flows, right? And so where we're putting our attention is what's we're going to be creating and generating. So being clear, intentional with where we're spending our thoughts is a game changer. All right, my friends, if you've not joined us, come and join us for the Unlocked Live event Friday and Saturday. You're going to be seeing tons of videos and all this fun interaction that we're going to be having with our incredible attendees. So many nuggets. We have special sponsors. I got to show you guys this. Look at my new, beautiful, I don't know, look at that. There we go. We'll do some justice. We have Jeffrey B., who is our sponsor for Talking with Terry TV. We also have our sponsor, Time Timer, as well. So you're going to be seeing some more posts around them. We're so excited and just so grateful for Jeffrey B. Be sure to check him out. Jeffrey B. Online. He can do consultations. You don't have to be here in Colorado, but if you want to come visit me, please do come check it out. Be in person, but he does visits all in person. He does custom stuff. I mean, just so yummy. So make sure, look how big and chunky this is. Of course, I get the biggest piece that he has in the counter. I'm like, this is the one. So super excited to be partnering with Jeffrey B. and all of his beautiful jewelry, because this girl loves jewelry. And I can't wait to see you guys. And we're going to be unpacking this next Tuesday. So make sure that you are staying tuned. And whatever I can do to support, please reach out. DM me if you have questions, thoughts. We are doing a new Ask Terry. So if you have a question you would like to ask me, feel free to write that in. We are drawing. So every couple days we're drawing winners with those names that are sending in questions. We do answer those on Talking with Terry TV. So be sure to look and tune in to see when your question gets brought up, and we'll be answering those on the show. And we have some great announcements coming up. So just stay engaged with us, stay connected, and you will be in the know when we launch those new episodes, also behind the scenes, as well as the upcoming events that we have planned in store for 2023. As always, everyone, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love to all of you, and have a fabulous night. Good night.